Good morning, witches. So I've been waiting to do a video like this for a long time because dream work for me has been a staple like from forever ago, because dream work for me didn't immediately go into like, oh, that's witchcraft. Like dream work, maybe it's because I'm a Pisces, I just always felt like there was more to dreams because I've been dreaming since I was a kid and I could remember them always. And I know a lot of people have a hard time remembering their dreams. But for me, it's like, I swear dreaming has always been this secret language between me and my higher self or my spirit guides or something. They're always giving me dreams that sometimes they're really crazy and it's like, what the hell was that about? But other times it's like they're not they're not prophetic. It's not like I have dreams that tell the future, but I have dreams that really help me understand what I'm going through in my life by giving me symbols and, you know, turning things in my dream into things that I have feelings about already. So the biggest part with dreams, Nami's here, she wants to join. The biggest thing with dreams is that each person has their own individual language that they understand when they're dreaming. And so your higher self or your team of light, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, they're going to put these odd things in your dream because they know how you feel about that thing, right? So a good difference is like somebody who has snakes and, you know, sells snakes, owns hundreds of them, not afraid, loves snakes. If they get snakes in a dream, there's not fear around them. They're not something that's seen as like a threat or harmful. Most likely, if their dreams show them a snake, they're like, oh my gosh, these are my animals, you know, I love them. Versus somebody else who has a fear of snakes, and then you get a dream in your snake, it's like they're able to create the feeling based on the thing they put in your dream. When I say they, I just mean like your subconscious self, your higher self, team of light, guardian angels, however you want to think about it. I think that dreams are a way for us to be communicated with, and have experiences that, you know, don't fit into the reality of us being here on earth, because, you know, we can like fly and do all kinds of stuff. Sometimes we can't run or scream. Like our physical selves are not as limited when we see ourselves in dreams. But last night, the reason I'm doing this video like right now, and I said I'm not getting ready, just whatever. I wanted to get this on video as soon as I could, because the longer you go without recalling your dreams, the fuzzier it gets. So I'm always, when I'm doing dream work and I'm journaling about it, it's like, it's wake up and write it down right then. Don't do anything else because it's not as fresh. You know, those things where, I don't want to say it's your imagination, but since sometimes the dreams don't feel experienced, it's harder to remember them. It's like you can remember the feelings though, and that's a very important part of dream work. Excuse me, I'm just having my first cup of coffee. So the dream that I dreamt last night, and that's why I say I've been waiting so long to do this, because I wanted to have a dream where I could tell you about it and kind of describe how dreaming becomes like a practice that you do in order to talk to yourself about things that you're afraid of, that you might not want to admit to yourself. You're uncovering something about, you know, your subconscious or even your conscious that you just really don't want to admit. So last night I had this kind of, it's not a crazy dream by any means, but it is a little weird. It's kooky, and you'll see why, but I can relate it to things, and I know where these ideas were planted in my head in my real life so that I could see them in my dream and know exactly what it means. So when I woke up, it's like I knew exactly why I saw, you know, a mouse. Like I know exactly what that was. Okay, first, let me tell you the dream. Well, and a little precipice of like what's going on in my life right now, because that's what really matters. You guys have heard me say for the last like year and a half that I've been taking care of my mother-in-law, who her husband passed last February, and it's just been extremely hard on the family. And like, we love her so much. She is the kindest, sweetest, most beautiful soul, like always happy. Just, she's a joy to be around all the time. But she is turning 84 soon, and her body has been, you know, getting older, shutting down, and she's always been a very active woman and out there and independent and all of that. Well, now she needs care. She broke her back last year, and then she broke it again. She fractured her L3, which, if you don't know what that means, I barely do either. Her lower spine, like, and so she couldn't walk. She was in rehab for 10 days. It's been really painful. It's been really hard to see her lose her mobility. She's using a walker and stuff, but you know, it's just, you're watching somebody that you love kind of become, I don't want to say weaker, but truly it is. It's like weaker and weaker, less capable of protecting themselves, caring for themselves. So in my dream, I was with her. Her name is Judy. I was with her, and I take her to, me and my husband, we take her to church. I've sat with her now because she can't be alone, because in case she falls, like somebody needs to be there. But I do all these things with her now. So last night's dream was about me taking care of her, taking her to places that I'm doing just for her because I'm uncomfortable. And that was church, because I went to church with her a couple weeks ago, and I got offered to be part of the, I forget what it's called, communion, where they offer you, it sounds so weird for me to say because it doesn't feel serious, but they offered me the body of Christ and the blood of Christ, you know, out of the cup and the little wafer thing. And her religion is Episcopal. And, you know, it's just, I haven't been in a church in so long, and watching the ceremony of everything was just really, I felt like such an outsider. I felt like such a voyeurist, like watching in a way that's, you know, this is totally bizarre to me. But anyways, I was there for her, and I love her, and I will stick by her side no matter how uncomfortable it makes me, because she is happy. She's doing what she needs. She's been going to this same church for 30 years. I would never deny that of her. Even if she needs help, I would sit through church with her. So after that, it was just kind of like, whoa, I kept thinking how weird that was to be offered to be part of this ceremony, you know, and they don't know me, they don't know what I do, they don't know my beliefs, but I was like, no, thank you. And when I told my husband about it, he's like, you said no? Like, I think he was surprised. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Like, I can't partake in a lie. Like, no, I can't do it. So that's the experience that this dream is built around. Okay, so that's the real life experience. Then the other real life experience is that the other day, me and two of Tony's granddaughters were in the car, and we're at the intersection. And this is a big intersection. It's like 3 lanes all the way around coming through. So a big intersection. What is running diligently, and almost like he was really tired. A fucking mouse was running through the intersection, and all the cars are going by. And I was like, I can't watch. And the girls are like, oh my God, he's gonna make it. I was like, just don't tell me. I don't want to know. Like, I cannot watch an animal get killed. I don't care how small or big they are. Like, absolutely not. I was like, I'll be traumatized. I can't watch. This little mouse makes it through 3 lanes of traffic while people are turning and going this way and that way. And I don't know if other people saw him. He's a mouse in a huge intersection. But I remember like the dread and the like, just like, get through, little guy, get through, just, oh my God, make it. There was real emotion in that for me. I'm sorry, I have the light on dim, but it's still like really bright because I just woke up. So those are the 2 outside world things that happened to me to influence the dream I'm about to have that is going to make me deal with something very, very real. You can probably guess where I'm going with this, but Judy is like, because I've been taking care of her, and like there's so much love, and we've bonded so much, you know. Before her husband passed, it's not like we spent a lot of alone time together. We didn't. We were always with her husband, my husband, you know, it was the 4 of us all the time. But now I'm with Judy all the time alone. Like, I'm really getting to know her by herself as an individual, not just as my mother-in-law, you know, or my husband's mom. Like, it's so different now. Like, we're good friends. Like, we've shared experiences and laughter, and she randomly says funny shit, and it's just like, I don't even know if she means to be funny, but it's like, it's just funny. So in the dream, I'm taking care of her, and of course we're going to church, and so I'm with her at the church, and for some reason Judy is a person. She's a human, and you know, kind of, she's slow moving right now because she still has her back brace on and stuff, but then she would turn into this mouse that I would have to, and it would just happen randomly, you know. It wasn't like I knew she was going to turn into the mouse. So there's the fantasy part, right? There's the part that's like, that's not real, so I should disregard this. No, her turning into the mouse is me, you know, wanting to know, number one, it's knowing that she's fragile and needs to be protected. And then also it's like, I don't want to see her go. Like, no, nobody wants people to die, right? I mean, it's just like your family members, your close people, you don't want them to die. So there's that fear around it too. I can't stop it. I'm not in control of it. I can't protect her from death. Like, nobody can protect anybody from death. We all have to go through that door. So as we're in this church, and she keeps going from like a human body to a mouse body. When she's in her mouse body, I like, because she's small, I guess I put her closer to the service part of it. And so she's up away from me, and I don't want to sit at the front of the church. So I like go back to the seat in the back. And, you know, there's kids, there's everybody, and it's nobody from her real church, but a kid like punches at the bag that she's by, and it scares her. I was like, what are you doing? I got so mad at this kid. I was like, you're gonna scare her, you know, she's tight, she's you know, that's my, I was like, I kept saying, you know, that's my mother-in-law, right? Like, everybody knew that Judy was the mouse. It's, again, this is the fantasy part that our brain is like, yeah, no, this makes sense. So then I had to frantically start looking for her, and I am in my dream, you guys, I am crying. I am so mad. I'm pissed at everybody who is like not helping, not looking, and not participating in giving her care. And, you know, I think that that's where sometimes, oh God, I'm going to cry. Sometimes in taking care of her, I know that everybody does everything they can, but like for me, I want people to do even more. I'm like, no, take care of her more. She needs this, you know, she needs all of us right now to do all of this, to do things for her, to be there, to like ask her if she's okay, to, you know, check on her. So with the mouse, I was so mad at all the church people because nobody was helping me look for her. And my first reactions were really like, I was just angry. It was like, oh, come on, you know, what's wrong with you? You guys got, you know, she helped build this church. She's one of the original members. And I'm speaking like real life stuff. And then, you know, some of the people are just acting nonchalant, like, yeah, but I mean, you know, they're basically playing it off like she's at the end of her days. Like, she's a mouse. She's not going to make it. Like, she can't live forever. So they're kind of pushing that idea on me that it's not worth finding her because she's not going to survive much longer anyways. And you can see how that kind of relates to real life. Come on, baby girl. My cat again. And you made me lose my train of thought. And so with understanding that I'm looking for her, and I was just angry at first, then the old me comes out, the me that was like, when I was younger, I was really angry at the Christian religion. I remember feeling very angry at it, and it wasn't necessarily people in the church. It was just like the idea of all the things they did, you know, history, and when you learn about witchcraft, and you're just like, why are they so fanatical, and why do they think they're always right? And they, again, it's a terrible way to group people together. I don't think that that's something to do, but in the dream it was almost pointing my anger back to this, like, you know, when you're learning about death, it's like, oh, God wants you home. So, you know, when you're young and they tell you why a kid dies, oh, God wanted him back by his side. And so I remember this weird angry feeling of like, who the fuck is that? And why do they get to make the choice? Like, that's not fair. You know, that person should have got to live out their whole life. And so this anger, it came up in my dream, and I started like actually saying really belligerent things to the people at the church that I would never say in real life. You know, maybe I would have when I was 16 or 18 and I was at the beginning of my journey, you know, but now it was like I used a language that felt really raw and, you know, messed up. Like I didn't mean it. It was almost like throwing out, you know, curse words and calling them names. And it was like, you know, I'm almost embarrassed to say this on camera. It's like fucking Christians, or, you know, like angry at the ideas, and that I almost blame them or something, you know. It's this, so those are things that I can uncover. So the dream is done now. Obviously I woke up and I know that Judy's not a mouse, and she's actually doing much better with her back, and like she's getting better every day. But it's where we're connecting these deep emotions that might still be rooted in us that we haven't fully dealt with, that then come through in times of crisis, or when you're getting close to crisis, and it wants to prepare you for all the things that are going to come up. Because when Judy does pass, I'm going to have to be in contact with the church and be around everybody, and I'm going to need to figure out a way to be okay with that and not feel like an outsider. They love her, you know, this is an extended part of her family, and I don't want to go in there with like a I'm not a part of this, you know, or I want to fully embody the experience when she gets interred into the ground at the church garden. And I don't want to feel secluded, alone, and not part of it just because I'm not in the same belief system that they are. And I think that that's part of what the dream is preparing me for, is kind of like, you're going to go through some hard stuff, and it's going to make you go all the way back to the roots of how you felt about religion a long time ago, mainly Christianity, and, you know, who you thought was responsible for millions of women's deaths, you know, that were witches and stuff. So these two worlds are getting ready to collide eventually, and I think the dream is really setting me up to go like, okay, how are you going to handle that before the actual situation comes about, you know? Yeah. Okay, I talked a lot. I hope I made sense because it is early and yeah, and you know, it is an emotional thing, but I felt like you guys could really understand how our real life influences our dreams and how we can understand how when we see symbols like the mouse being helpless and like wanting it to survive, and then Judy being this fragile person, and now I'm experiencing part of her world, which is, you know, Christianity, and I'm trying to be a part of that in the most authentic way that I can for her to support her. And yeah, it's just wow. There's not really a great ending to this as far as like, and here's your lesson, kids. You know, it's more like this is a dream I've been waiting for that I could tell you guys to explain how I do my dream work. This would be what I consider my dream work. I don't journal my dreams anymore, really, because I'm able to process everything pretty fast. So the memory is there, especially if I talk, like when we have dreams, my husband and I talk about it anyway. So it's kind of like I'm journaling just through the conversation. But I can see it all pretty clearly now since I've been doing this work a long time. But I hope that this video helps you look at some of the things that go on in your dream and when they don't make sense, right? Like, why did Junie turn into the mouse? That's not reality. But my brain or my higher self, whatever, created that situation to give me the feeling of what? Like protection, to care for her, to know that she's fragile, to be there. And then realizing that I might be mad at other people because they don't help and I feel alone or responsible a lot of the time for her care, or like I'm the only one that's making sure she's taken care of, which is not true, but I have probably felt that way sometimes. Excuse me again, first cup of coffee. So this is me freshly waking up, having a dream, and really wanted to tell you guys about it so that you could find it helpful in your own practice. If you get these crazy symbols, like what's the feeling around it? It's the best way to talk about dreams. What's the feeling you had in the dream? And then you can start uncovering where that exists in your real life for you. You know, where are those feelings actually being pointed to? Because there's just these representations usually in our dream to stir the feelings. And then in our waking life, we're trying to understand where those feelings are actually, you know, where are they unresolved at? Where are we working through something? Where do we need to journal, question, look up stuff and be like, why is that? Is this really happening for me? You know, and animals for me have always been in my dreams. So I think that finding out, and I did for a long time, I found out all the meanings of the animals, like when they were happening for me. And I've used many resources, online stuff, books, and you know, you search and tell. If you're looking for a sign and you don't know what it is, when I search, I'm reading through stuff and I'm always like, okay, no. I feel like I almost know immediately or intuitively. It's like, that's not it. Go to a new site, go to a new book. And then I'll find one and I'll be like, that hits. Oh, that hits so hard. That's when you found the thing that is the right piece of information to help you know what you're dreaming about. All right, this might have been a little chaotic because it was just, you know, unplanned. But I hope you guys got something from it. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Love y'all. Bye.